Hi, this is moreLearn Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K. Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 347. I am Jay, and with me is Mark.
Hey, what is going on, party people?
We are having, for the first time in a couple years, we are having a giveaway.
A giveaway?
A giveaway. We're giving something away.
Okay, so let's see what we're giving away. We are giving away... Can I guess what it is? I'm going to guess James Dolan's Soul.
No, he gave that away in the late 90s.
Okay, let me just guess again. We are giving away Knicks fans' remaining hope.
That was given away in the early 2000s.
We're giving away our last remaining positive memories about the Knicks.
Close.
We are giving away the triangle. Act now. You can have the triangle from us. We don't want it anymore. Giving away. Hang on. I'm going to keep guessing. We're giving away easy baskets to our people we're trying to defend.
Well, the Knicks are doing that. We're not doing that per se.
We're giving away Amari's jersey because that shit ain't hanging on from the rafters.
Can we just get to the actual prize?
No, I'm going to keep guessing.
This is the whole episode, folks.
We're giving... Oh, I know what we're giving away. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Draft picks.
Oh, God.
Call it now. You can get whatever draft pick you want.
Oh, if we do, that'll be our last episode.
Okay, we're giving away what's left of Derrick Rose's knees.
Yes.
We're giving away...
Okay. All right.
We're giving away the tight leather pants that J.R. Smith used to go out in. Okay, go.
So we are giving away a customized USB old school Nintendo controller. It's got all the Knicks legends on it, and you can see a picture of it on the website, the NewYorkKnicksPodcast.com, or on Twitter at NYKnicksPodcast, and Instagram, NYKnicksPodcast.
You might want to put one on Facebook, too?
And our Facebook group. We will put it on all those places. So the contest goes until our next episode, which will be 2 weeks. And what you have to do is mention us in a tweet, and whoever gets the most retweets on it gets the prize. That simple.
And when you say mention us on an episode, do you mean mention Jay and Mark, or do you mean mention at New York Knicks Podcast?
Right. Mention at NY Knicks Podcast. Whoever gets the most retweets will get the controller. Check it out. It's really cool looking. One of our listeners does that, and he does an amazing job, and he made a customized Knicks ones for us. So these are one of a kind.
They are. It is pretty freaking awesome. He donated it for a fan. We're donated for the show for us to have a contest, and so just put our handle in a tweet, get a lot of retweets. Whoever has the most retweets will win this contest and have a really slick looking controller.
Yes. Hook it up to your computer, play Steam, maybe use an emulator. I don't know. But
it plugs right into your computer. It's easy to use. We can play all the old school Nintendo games. You could be the envy of all your friends who just have boring old regular controllers.
Man, what suckers.
Yeah, what suckers.
All right, so that is the exciting portion of the show.
And now there's literally almost nothing happened since last episode, Knicks related. But Phil Jackson did say,
Wait, no. You're
What?
missing the biggest news of the last 2 weeks.
USA won the Olympic gold. Oh my!
No, a little more closer to home.
But that did happen, and we should talk about that, I guess.
We should.
Okay, go on.
Are you forgetting the big news?
You finally are going post-op?
We got real recognition in an actual newspaper.
We got
haven't
real
done an
recognition in an
episode.
actual newspaper?
We haven't done an episode since then.
Okay, you're talking about the presidential campaign?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about it, Jay.
Well, I registered to run for president last year, and
This is more of a brink topic, but go on.
yeah, our other show, The Brink of Sanity. This has been an ongoing thing. I registered in Mr. Brink Sanity, and the New York Post called me up.
If you look on the federal election website, you'll find his name in between presidential candidates Bernie Sanders and Rick Santorum. Mr. Brink Sanity's right in between them.
Yeah, I really did this. So the New York Post,
Quite a placement.
the New York Post called me and interviewed me about my campaign, and I said a lot of Knicks related things. I told them that the first thing I would do is make an executive order banning the Knicks from trading draft picks. And I said the Knicks should get more of a salary cap than all the rest of the teams because it's not fair that they can't make it work like the other teams. And it got printed in the New York Post and on the Post's website. So, you could type in, type in my name or Knicks in New York Post, and it comes up, and it's pretty sweet. So we got some actual recognition.
I wonder if Brink Sanity works. Brink Sanity, New York Post. Let's see what comes up. See what comes up right there. Meet the New York New York
right?
nobodies running for president.
There you go.
And we get a picture of Jay looking like the
I look
creepiest of all.
I look like I can't believe they're actually doing this. They sent a real professional photographer down to my job and did a photo shoot during lunch.
No, Jay does not look like, I can't believe I'm not doing they're doing this. You actually, the look on his face is the look of like a 5-year-old boy being like, I can't believe that he's doing this to me. You look like you should have a white fan. Though the guys, look at the picture of the guys with you who look so creepy also.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you can type in Brink Sanity Post, and the very first thing that comes up is the article. So check that out, Knicks fans. He mentions that he doesn't mention the show by name, but he says that I have a Knicks podcast, and he mentions my executive order and stuff. So
yeah. So Brink Sanity. Any other news you want to tell about your campaign since last? How are you doing against Mr. You registered Republican, right?
I did, because I figure at some point Trump's campaign is going to implode, and then I could just jump right in there.
Yeah, at some point when Trump will drop out last minute, and they'll be like, "Mr. Brink Sanity, you are our new president."
Yeah.
Because
Done.
Trump will drop out, Hillary will go to jail for some reason, whether real or imaginary. The Republicans might just arrest her, and
Citizens
you'll be
arrest.
president.
Can you imagine Mitt Romney's like, citizens arrest? I'm just arresting Hillary. Enough of this.
And I get to be Jay's VP, so I'm good.
Yeah. I mentioned you as my VP, and we have a good platform. If you want to hear all about our platform, check out the newest episode of The Brink of Sanity. We do about 25 minutes on our platform. It's good stuff.
Yes. So in Knicks news, or in more Knicks related news, what would you say Phil Jackson would say was his biggest regret as New York Knicks president? He actually said who his biggest regret was.
Was it the not getting enough for Tyson Chandler?
Yes. That was, he didn't say it not enough. It was one of the things, he had a choice in this pick. His choice was to take a second-round draft pick, which became Clanthony Early, or he could have taken Jay Crowder.
Why would you not take an established, decent player instead of a second-round draft pick, which has about a 1% chance of working out?
Well, Jay Crowder wasn't that established at that point. I think he was like his second year.
But you knew he was good at defense.
Well, maybe that's why Phil didn't take him, because he's like, oh, he plays defense. That's not part of the triangle.
I mean, it was more potential than, like, what did he see in Early?
Well, he didn't know. He didn't even know early he was going to take early because he just took the draft pick, which became early.
So he said, all right, this guy's right here. He's all right, but I'm just going to blindly choose a second-round draft pick.
Well, anyway, so he thought he wouldn't get Crowder would not get much of a chance to play behind Carmelo, so he took the pick instead.
Does he know that Carmelo misses 20 games a season?
Well, at that point, he wasn't missing 20 games a season. Though he was actually kind of a bit hobbled the year before.
He's been missing 20 games a season for a while.
Also, Jay Crowder plays small forward. Melo had just at that point everyone thought Melo's best position was power forward, and it's still best position is power forward. So it would have actually worked well playing him alongside Melo. Would have been, or just having a worthwhile backup from Carmelo has murdered this team ever since. Not having one, Melo leaves the floor. There's been no backup for him, and that hasn't really helped.
Right.
So Jay Crowder, who's looking like a pretty decent NBA player, last year averaged 14 points a game for Boston, played pretty solid defense, could have been a Knick, but he's not.
Just throwing it out there, in the 5 seasons that Melo has played a full season in New York, he's missed less than 10 games once. So there was a good chance that Crowder was going to get some playing time.
And also, what position does Anthony really play?
Bench warmer?
I mean, I guess is he a shooting guard or is he a small forward?
No, he's a small forward, but he doesn't really play anything. Yeah, he's a small forward, though.
But I'm saying they didn't take Jay Crowder because Jay Crowder played the same position as Melo. And so he drafted the same position as Melo.
Phil is really confusing sometimes.
What the hell is Phil? I mean, I have to say, I know he has great basketball knowledge, but he does things that are just baffling.
Yeah.
And early, people were pretty high on early coming out, and maybe early could have been better. It's just weird that his reason for not taking Jay Crowder was because of his position, and then drafted a guy playing the exact same position.
I don't know. It's a Zen thing. We'll never understand.
I think it's really more about him not being that amazing at this job. It's just more and more just he knows a ton about basketball, but in coaching, I don't think he drafted any of the guys in the Bulls or the Lakers.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. He may just not be good at this thing. Maybe he's good at coaching, not scouting.
Or maybe it just takes a while to actually figure this out. It's not something, it's a hard job. And so you have to do this for a couple of years before you get really good at it. And so day one, you make mistakes like this Tyson Chandler trade.
That's great.
Anyway, so that was Phil. Whatever. We gave him $12 million. We were like, you have no experience. How about we triple the salary of anyone else would possibly get in this league for this position? He probably. What do you think the next highest paid team president gets?
What is he getting? 12?
He's getting 12. There's no way any other team president makes more than 4. I guess Pat Riley probably makes a lot. Pat Riley might make somewhere in that realm.
I have no idea what the salaries for presidents are. They don't usually throw that number out there all the time like they do coach salaries. I mean, not that I care. It's Dolan's money anyway, but...
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit about Dolan?
Yeah.
Whatever. I thought the biggest of deals. I mean, we got the stink of the joint and get Porzingis. So, and we were all in all, Chandler would not have been here still, and Jose Calderon was going to be our bench player anyway. We didn't even play him barely, right?
True. That is true.
Whatever. So anyhow, so do you want to talk about the Olympics real quick? Team USA shocked the world by winning the gold medal.
Oh, what an upset.
That was crazy. I can't believe the team with the best players won the gold medal. I mean, all they had were the best players and the most talent.
I mean, the super, super duper heavy favorites won. That is crazy.
So I asked this on Facebook. If the women's team, the USA women's team, played the Knicks, 7-game series. What's the outcome?
The Olympic women's team.
Yeah, the best female team in the world.
Mm,
The women's team won the gold, right? Or maybe they didn't. I don't know.
yeah, no, they did.
Yeah.
I would say the Knicks will win in 5.
Yeah, that's what I think happens also. Because you're supposed to win in 4, but the Knicks would win in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would throw up one game where like everyone just misses every shot.
Yeah. How would you change? Would you change the Olympics? The current Olympic how it is? I know we talked about this before, and I really hate how it is. And I understand other countries are using their pros. Would you keep it as is and wait for the rest of the world to catch up to make it more competitive?
What else can you do, really? I mean, using pros in every other sport.
Why
Right.
not just make an age limit?
Or are you? Because, like in boxing, you don't see like the Klitschko brothers in the Olympics.
Well, forget. I mean, other sports, other countries use pros, and obviously in other countries in basketball use pros. Why not for the U.S. though? Make it 25 and under, and that way, if we win it, it's exciting. And if we don't win it, then like you're not like, wow, you should have won it.
I mean, that would be good for the fans, but it's all about money and generating hype, and they just want to
But
guarantee a gold medal.
I mean, I guess I would think more people would watch it that way, though. I don't know. Like
I don't know.
could-
I think the casual fan just wants to see Melo. They don't really care. Like,
Look, the U.S. is better than Senegal. Ha 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 ha. Let's drop a bomb on Senegal. Whatever. Maybe or like take the Olympic basketball players and make them compete in other sports as well. Make Melo do gymnastics. That'd be kind of fun. So I thought for this show we would go to the questions we have because I don't think we have that much more to talk about. What else do you want to talk about Knicks?
that was pretty much it.
I think
No. The other thing is there's a rumor the Knicks might take a hard look at Lance Stevenson.
We've been talking about that for the last 3 shows, though.
I know. It hasn't happened yet, so there's really not much more to add to that. It's just the rumor is still pretty strong, so it looks like there's a good chance of that happening.
Derrick Rose also said he thinks the Knicks have a shot of winning every game they play next year. And people were like, oh, my God, Derrick Rose, how dare you think the Knicks will play competitive basketball?
Yeah, don't show confidence.
Oh, God, you're supposed to say the Knicks will have a shot of winning a third of all games next year.
Well, I think that people are twisting it into him saying they're going to go 82-0, and that's not what he meant. He meant they're going to be competitive in every single game.
Yeah, and I want a guy to be a little bit cocky. I want a guy to be like, hey, I know he's calling us like it's a joke that he calls us the super team. At the same time, I want a guy going in there and being like, hey, we are a championship level team and we're going to play like that because even if it doesn't end up it usually works out better that way than like going into the season going, hey, we're going to try to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at least it like, I don't know. I feel like it should be. You need leadership. You need guys saying, "Hey, we are the best," even if it's not true.
Yeah.
Why is the media like obsessed with like turning everything Rose says into something like funny?
It's New York media. It's terrible. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
New York media is just
it's
awful.
going above and beyond to attack him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Welcome to New York, Derek. Not that we didn't just spend the last like 4 years attacking him, but he wasn't in New York then.
Yeah, and he's our enemy then.
Yeah.
And now he's our friend for a year. And much like the Knicks roster, we're friends with them for a year, and then they all leave.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the emails? I'm going to do Twitter and Facebook today because there are very few Facebook questions.
Sure. Let's see. We have. I think I should have queued all these up before.
Very helpful.
Yeah. I'll get my act together. in a
What
second.
what film mistakes do you think he's left off besides the? I mean, not to rehash too much stuff, but what was his next biggest mistake besides the Tyson Chandler trade? And not taking Jay. I would agree with him not taking Jay Crowder over Lee Anthony early. Biggest mistake he made. But what do you think is close to that?
I would say not getting another guard last year.
Yeah, I think overall, I would also have said maybe not taking that first round draft pick for Shumpert when you could have.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a big mistake because you could have gotten Jared. You could have traded J.R. Smith away either way, and if you did trade J.R. Smith away, what would the difference have made?
I would still like the Knicks to look at Kendall Marshall.
Where is he now?
He got traded to the Jazz and then waived, so he's free.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I mean, go for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Lorenzo writes, hey guys, in regards to your surprise at the number of Australians that listen to the podcast, I think I know why. In the 90s, we used to get one game a week on TV, which was usually 4 to 5 days old, plus some highlights. Then cable TV came along and we started getting maybe 2 live games a week, but still not a lot of other media, print or otherwise. Then Internet and League Pass came along, so we are slowly catching up to the rest of the world, but we are still starved for non-internet media. But that doesn't explain why there's so many Australian Knicks fans.
I understand why we'd have so many. Yeah, I guess I understand why we would have so many. If there were a lot of Knicks fans there, why they would find our podcast looking for New York media. But yeah, why?
Why didn't the Australians gravitate towards the Lakers or the Heat or something? Why Knicks?
A team, yeah, it's like Australia discovered basketball in the '90s and wanted a team that they didn't like the Bulls.
Right. Taylor writes, what veteran free agent guard options do you think the Knicks could realistically pursue for the 15th spot? What about guys like Mario Chalmers, Gary Neal, or Jordan Farmar? Would any of those guys or Lance Stevenson settle for minimum contracts?
Isn't Chalmers already signed? Did no one sign him yet?
The greatest point guard on earth?
The greatest point guard on earth. He was just cleared for all basketball. He's coming off an injury. And he's been cleared for all basketball activities.
Yeah, he's not on a team.
He ruptured his Achilles 5 months ago.
I was going to say yes until I realized he ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah, he might not be. Gary Neal, I'm surprised, is not on a team.
He really fell off after he left San Antonio. I would say Farmar or...
I don't want Farmar. I don't need any more of these Laker has-beens.
I would like Kendall Marshall.
Yeah, Kendall Marshall seems... We need more guards, so I would say that's pretty reasonable.
And considering it's almost September and he's not on a team, Stevenson would probably settle for a minimum at this point.
I mean, I don't think he's getting anything else besides a minimum. Do you really think he's getting any more money?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would take a... Neal doesn't look like bad. Neal would be a pretty reasonable guy to get also. He was a pretty good shooter.
Yeah.
And
we got one more. Stefan. See, the thing is, he wrote his name phonetically, and I still can't do it.
How do you spell it?
STE-FAN. Stefan?
He's Stefan.
I think it's Stefan.
I think it's Stefan. Stefan!
I think
Stefan!
I think he would have wrote 2 E's if it was Stefan.
But I like that better.
I'm going to call you Stefan.
Hey, Stefan!
So Stefan writes, really dig the show, dudes. Just started listening in my hour commutes to the city every day. I'm a Knicks fan of epic proportion and find myself frequently chiming in as though you might hear me from my car. And on a respectful side note, I seem to know more about the new players than you gentlemen do.
Go on.
Feel free to confirm that with me. I'd love to talk Knicks with you. The Knicks seem more talked about and looked at skeptically more than many other teams with similar issues, and I need some logic to this. So he has 2 questions. Question 1. Mike Conley was a hot commodity this past offseason and got himself a $20 million-ish contract. A guy, for lack of a better term, has problems staying healthy. He missed a serious amount of games last year and ended the season with a very Mike Conley-esque stat line of 15-6. If I'm not wrong, Marc Gasol also hit the salary jackpot recently as well and spent a bit of time classing up the bench in his suit. No one seems to bring up the concerns of oh man, I wonder if Conley and Gasol are going to be the same player when they heal. I wonder how many games they're going to miss. Why did we pay max contracts injury-prone players? So on that note, does everyone, sports analysts included, just have less respect for Derrick Rose and Brandon Jennings as players and seemingly disregard both of these guys' extremely impressive career stat lines? Brandon Jennings has been a career 15-point-per-game guard throughout the entirety of his NBA life until he was injured. Why is Jennings expected to suddenly turn to shit after his injury, but that's not even consideration people have about Conley? Why does one get a hall pass and the other does not? Did they not put up very similar stats year to year when both of them were playing full seasons? Is this their logic, or am I just a bitter Knicks fan? Oh, yeah, and Jennings was about $16 million cheaper.
In 2018 and 19, 2018-19 season, Mike Conley will be getting $30 million a year. Then the $32 million. And then 2021 season, he'll be getting $34 million. There's an early termination for that year, but how goddamn insane is Mike Conley's salary?
It is insane. But the thing is, you bring up Mike Conley's injury history. Other than last season, he wasn't injured since his rookie season. So he had 7 straight healthy seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Rose hasn't been. I think he's right. Here's where he's right. A lot of teams do have issues and sign questionable guys, and they don't get the scrutiny New York Knicks get. Part of it also is Memphis has been pretty good with these players.
Also, you're comparing 15-6 to 15-6, but what you're not comparing is defense, which Conley is one of the better defensive guards, and Jennings is not good on defense at all.
No, but part of it also is when you sign guys, you get guys from other teams, and if you re-sign your own player, you get less scrutiny. If the Bulls re-sign Derrick Rose to 5 more years, it would be less scrutiny than the Knicks signing him for 5 more years.
That's true too.
It's like you're kind of already locked in on this player because he's your player.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Memphis resigning Gasol and Conley, they're like, well, you kind of have to, and you've had a lot of success with them already.
Yeah.
The Bulls could have said, hey, we've had a lot of success with Derrick Rose when he's healthy. Hopefully he'll get back to he's getting better, and it makes sense for us to keep him. The Knicks, on the other hand, are going out of their way to get him for a year. I don't know if we'll resign him, but I can see where why are you going out of your way to trade assets to get a guy who has a questionable future?
Right. So, question number 2. Derrick Rose averaged more points last season at 70% health than Mike Conley playing his normal stat lines, and Rose was looked at as a disappointment. Well, shit, I'll take any 17-point-per-game point guard on my team. I bet most NBA teams would too. He's only getting more and more healthy and primed for the upcoming season. Is Derrick Rose just an inevitably destined disappointment, forced to chase some bullshit ghost of a breakout season where he was averaging MVP stats? Seems like if he stays healthy long-term, which is more than possible, and puts up respectable numbers similar to last year's, he will never get the acknowledgement the poor bastard is damn well owed. 17-5 are numbers to savor for a Knicks point guard. Get in touch with me if you need me to come on the show and pronounce each player's name on the roster for you. I know them all. I'll give you guys a good dose of knowledge, objection, speculation, and general banter.
Okay.
Stefan.
You mean Stefan. Yeah, no, he yeah, I mean the point about Derrick Rose is realistic in the sense of like coming off injury and not fully healthy last year, his numbers weren't bad. Like his numbers on the face of it weren't bad. People look at the advanced metrics, and I guess in the advanced metrics is that numbers don't look very good.
Right. I mean, again, Derrick Rose had like the worst defensive season of his career last season. So,
yeah.
People are looking at that.
Yeah, I mean, but he should be, and he was coming off. He hasn't been himself in a long time, or the player that you really want. But you're right. If Derrick Rose averages 17 points and 5 assists a game, we're not going to be unhappy.
Right.
Because you would have said, like, you would gladly sign up for that if the guy wasn't Derrick Rose.
That is true. But, I mean, if he's playing garbage defense, he's going to get torn apart in New York media.
I mean, if you look at the stats, like, so people killed Derrick Rose and he shot, like, just under 43% last year and said it was an all garbage year. Mike Conley shot 42% last year.
Mm-hmm.
Conley's numbers weren't better on the and Conley plays defense, yes, but offensively, Conley's numbers weren't really any really better, if not
Conley
worse.
is not an elite offensive player.
How the hell is he getting this much money? I mean, what the hell? Memphis Brain Trust must have been like, whatever, we'll just do this. They
It's
must
weird
have just
that
like
they just keep going all in on a team that seems to like peak in the second round.
Yeah, that's what they did basically. They said we're going to be the Atlanta Hawks. We know we're not going to win a title with this team, but we'd rather get to the second round than be the Sixers or we can't rebuild.
Because I mean, Zach Randolph is in a rapid decline.
They're not. I don't see how this team is getting better.
They're not. I mean, Gasol and Conley have peaked. They're just going to get worse. Randolph is definitely on the downside, and that's 3 out of your 5 starters right there.
And in this league is the league where you need stars to build around, and you need stars that are going to get better. And you already have your best players are getting worse.
Huh? Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds like if Memphis was in New York, people would be killing Memphis also. The New York scrutiny is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I think nobody really pays attention to Memphis.
Would you? Everyone pays attention to Memphis when they go, my preseason predictions: Memphis is going to win the title. No one ever predicts that one every year. I mean, they're the sexy like upset pick, and they never achieve it, and that's it.
Yeah.
He's just looking at Derrick Rose's per 100 possessions. He was a negative 14 points when he was on the court.
And that's why he gets torn apart sometimes.
So that's the issue really, is that like the last couple of years he didn't play that much the year. He played 60 games last year, 66 games, negative 14. The year before, 51 games, he was a negative 11.
Mm-hmm.
But last time he was healthy, he was a positive 11.
Right.
So I wonder what Conley's numbers in the advanced metrics are. I mean, obviously they're better. They're not $30 million a year. Is Conley still the highest paid player in the NBA, or did LeBron sign already?
LeBron signed. I didn't see what he got though.
Conley's a +5 on defense. So last year he was a +19, better than Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Not that it's the most perfect. Not that it's like a perfect stat.
Yeah.
But he was a +19 better than Derrick Rose last year.
Right.
And on a Bulls team that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, all it really is that we know there's a lot going in the season. There's a lot of things that can make you say, what the Knicks are doing doesn't make sense, but we're going to pretend those things aren't here, and we're just going to go with hoping for the best, because that's all you can really do. Don't look closely at stats or stuff. I don't know. You have to accept that we have these guys in the team. You have to get excited. You have to be like, I'm going to hope this works out for the best. This is a different system here. The Bulls were a disaster last year because they got rid of a much better coach, and they got, what's his name, who really did not, he didn't know he screwed the Bulls up majorly last year. Mm-hmm. Derrick Rose is getting healthier. He should play better. He has a team around him that makes more sense for his style of play.
Yeah.
Noah should be healthier this year. I mean, like, our team president could do pull-ups off his arm, so that's pretty good for his shoulder. Porzingis should learn a ton from playing with Noah. That should be a huge benefit. And playing like on a winning team, like he'll learn the right style of play, supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be, and you have Porzingis is going to get better. He'll get the ball. Rose will feed him the ball in better situations. She'll be smarter. He's still going to be blocking shots on defense. We're still going to have great interior defense, and our front court defense should be better because we have Courtney Lee.
This is true.
And whoever the fuck's on our bench should be great. Okay, let's keep going. I don't know. It's like you have to keep like talking yourself into all this.
I know. Okay, so that is it for emails.
Okay, so we have a bunch of questions. I'm going to do Twitter first, I guess. So, Jay, first question from Mellow Goat. When's the next show?
Right now.
Mellow Goat writes, do you mind if I ask questions for the show?
Go ahead, right ahead.
Okay. He wrote a series of questions. He said, got a few. First of all, Derrick Rose and the Knicks team can win every game comments, although I get what he meant. Jay?
Yeah, we just covered that. He obviously meant that they're going to be competitive in all the games, not that they're going to go 82-0. They have a chance to win each game.
Go continues to say, he's basically saying the Knicks have a chance in every game, even though I disagree. I can respect that. However, isn't he putting extra unnecessary pressure on the team?
I think he's trying to motivate the team.
Yeah, I don't think it's extra unnecessary pressure because it's necessary. You have pressure. You want with a win now roster. There's pressure on you.
Yeah, it's New York too. Like there's pressure to win every season. I don't think people are going to be like, "Oh, you said that now we're going to expect you to win."
Well, last year's team wasn't quite as much pressure because you just wanted to get better. But this year, you kind of overhaul the roster in a way that makes you think you want to win now. There's just tons of pressure.
Well, yeah, they went in win now mode. So
and everyone's cashing in huge paychecks. There's a lot of pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you win one more game than last year, it's a disaster of a season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goat writes, question 2, Carmelo's gold are a great achievement, no doubt. But why do people act like this has made him a better NBA player? By the way, Melo kind of the last couple games with the Team USA, he didn't play that well.
That is true.
Especially the gold medal game, he wasn't all that great.
I mean, it makes you better because you probably learned a few things. You're playing with, the best players in the league. It's, I mean,
Carmelo. They asked Carmelo, "What did you learn from playing in the Olympics?" And he said he learned that it sucks to play with the Knicks.
So I mean, he, in theory, intelligence-wise, he's probably a better player.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, whatever your job is right now, whatever you do for a living, if you did it with the best of the best for a couple weeks, it'd probably make you better at your job.
Yeah.
So, and last time he did this, the Knicks had their best season in a while.
It's true.
And he also goes on to say, this GOAT still, when I mean better, I mean more accomplished. Winning a gold medal for USA basketball is the easiest thing a player can do. Is this an accomplishment? Is it the easiest thing a basketball player can do? Is it the easiest thing an all-star level player can do?
As far as an accomplishment?
Yeah, as far as your resume, and you're for an all-star level NBA player, is this an achievement or you're it's not that big of a deal that you did this?
It's an achievement, but I don't think anybody's super impressed that you did it.
I don't think anyone's super impressed. You know what I'm super impressed by? Patty Mills. He was lighting shit up.
Yeah, see, that's where you're more impressed. The players that actually held their own. This team was supposed to run away with the championship, and they had a lot of close games. And I
was like, can we get Patty Mills? Is he a key part of San Antonio's system there?
Well, the fact that Parker's looking more and more like trash every season, I think Patty Mills is very important to.
God damn it!
I mean, Parker's down to 22 minutes a game or something.
I was super. As you're saying, I was super impressed with Patty. Anyone that stays with his team, I'm impressed with. Anyone who could play against it and play competitively.
I think that's the most unspoken reason why San Antonio is not winning any more championships. Is that their point guard lineup is not the best.
Oh, it might be better now that Patty Mills is getting better. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that makes a big difference. Mel, he goes on to say he's playing with 8 or 9 All-Stars. People act like it makes him greater. Why is that? Yes. Why does this make him greater? Why does winning 3 gold medals make Carmelo greater?
I don't think it makes him greater. It makes his resume look better, but nobody's that impressed that he beat subpar talent.
Yeah, I feel 3 gold medals versus, say...
1 NBA championship.
No, not even that. Let's say with All-Star game, 3 All-Star game appearances versus 3 gold medals, which is greater?
3 gold medals just because that shows longevity.
Yeah, I guess so. That's true. But I think All-Star game appearances are more impressive. Definitely, I would say not even first team. Second team, all-team NBA is much more impressive than winning the gold medal. Definitely first team. You can't say making the first team All NBA is not more impressive than winning a gold medal.
First team All NBA is really hard to do.
I mean, has Melo made that? I don't know if he's made that.
I don't think he has. Stat guy? Wouldn't it be funny if we had stat guy around the entire time and that was the first question we asked him?
That'd be great. That'd be the correct way to use stat guy.
Yeah.
See if I can pull up all the first team. I mean, first team All the NBA is pretty.
What if you just go to his basketball reference page? It'll say if he's, on the bottom they have their accomplishments.
No, I know, but I actually was kind of interested to actually look at who's made it in the last couple of years. I mean, this past year, do you know it up by heart? Who made it this year? Who was first team All NBA?
Curry, LeBron, Durant.
Durant did not make it.
He did not make first team, huh? Westbrook?
Well, Curry took his position probably. Westbrook made it, yeah. That's 3 of the 5.
It's got to be a center, right?
Yeah. It's also that I think they were trying to change that because they didn't want they wanted to make it 3 forwards because they felt it was unfair because centers aren't really like.
Was it Gasol?
No. Who's another really good center?
It's not a lot. DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah. But you think DeAndre Jordan really shouldn't be on the All NBA first team. He's only there because they need a center.
Right. It's like, is he the 5th best player in the NBA?
No. That's why they were trying. That's why there was talk about making it 3 forwards, including the center in the forward category.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just make it the top 5 guys. If they're all guards, they're all guards.
Yeah. Well, last one is one you're leaving off, who's one of the best players in the NBA. Easily top 5.
I said Westbrook?
Yeah, you said Westbrook, Curry, DeAndre Jordan, LeBron James. Just one more. This is I would say he's definitely top 5 in the NBA.
Harden?
No. He plays defense.
I don't know. Paul George?
I can't believe you don't know this.
Kawhi Leonard?
Yes.
Okay.
He's top 5 in the NBA.
Yeah.
But I feel like any of those, like Kawhi Leonard making the first team All the NBA is by him winning a gold medal is not in the same league, not in the same category.
Yeah.
Looking back on the guys, Anthony Davis fell off from first team last year.
Well, he's not had one healthy season ever. That'll do it.
Who on this Knicks current roster was the last first team All NBA?
Which Nick?
Which current Nick was the last Nick? Who was the last guy who's made the first team NBA on the current Nick roster?
Derrick Rose?
No.
It would have to be Melo, right?
Noah.
Noah made first team?
Yeah, remember 2 years ago when he was Defensive Player of the Year? He's also a center.
Interesting.
Remember when the centers just dominated this league?
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Yeah. Okay. What name? I'm trying to think of how. Name the last. Whatever. Amari made it. I was going to figure out. Amari made it in 2007. That's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, he was really good in 2007.
He was really good in 2007. Yeah. Do you think what's more impressive? Amari making that first team? Like, if he's going to talk about his accomplishments, does he talk about making the first team or winning Olympic gold first? I'm not even sure he won Olympic gold. Did he win Olympic gold?
I stopped paying attention to the Olympic team after they started winning games by 50. It was fun and novel for the dream team, and then after that, you're like, who cares?
I felt 92 was so much fun to watch. 96, you're like, oh, this is still pretty cool. 2000, you're like, why are they still doing this?
Right. It's like you made your point.
Yeah. Well, you get it. You're better, whatever. Okay, so next question. Okay, goes on to say, based on the hype and talk from fans and players, is 50 wins and Eastern Conference appearance, Eastern Conference final appearance, the minimum for this squad this season?
As far as expectations or as far as reality?
Well, I guess as far as success,
Because I don't expect them to do that. But
as far as to have a minimum to have a successful season, do we have to win 50 games and make the Eastern Conference Finals?
I would say 46 in second round
Is that really a successful season, though?
compared to the
Well,
last
compared to
15
last year, but
years.
compared to you went all in for this year.
Mm,
You traded away assets to get Derrick Rose. You went like all in with a crazy contract for Noah. You a huge contract for Courtney Lee, who's probably a good signing. But like you kind of went all in on this roster. You stopped rebuilding. You said screw rebuilding. We're going to try win now. It's 46 wins, really a successful season. We're going to try win now. We won 46 games. Yay!
well, when you say it like that,
I feel like the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think we're going to get there. I think second round I'd still be okay with, but 50 wins is a minimum. You have to win 50 games for this roster. You don't win 50 games, I feel like this season's a shitty season.
I don't think I'd argue you too hard on that point.
I mean, what the hell are you doing? What like are we went all in this roster to like kind of improve?
I mean, I feel like that's what we did, but
I mean, like it's gonna be a joke if we're fighting for the 8th seed. Like Phil Jackson should apologize to New York Knicks fans for fighting for the 8th seed.
yeah.
He should say, "I am not good at this job. I'm going to donate my money, my salary this season to charity, and I am taking I'm taking a ban from the NBA, and I'm going to ask the NBA to let me back in 2 years."
And I'm removing everything triangle shaped from my life, even the shapes in my house.
I will not even. I will ban myself from Twitter. I'm just saying, if he can't win, if he's fighting for an 8th seed, this is and obviously things can happen with injuries, but they have to be injuries that are not expected.
Yeah, I mean, if Noah and Rose get injured and Jennings, you're kind of like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, if the starting 5 are in a bus accident and all die, Phil, you got to pass. But
Right.
if Derrick Rose is like, I was injured most of the year and played like 20 games, and Noah does the same thing, and Melo misses 30 games, you're like, that's not you getting unlucky. That's kind of one of the expected results for this roster.
Yeah, that's true.
If Porzingis gets injured, like trips on the way to like the practice and is out for the year, Phil gets a pass.
Speaking of Porzingis, we got a voicemail.
Porzingis called in. Great. Do the voicemail. Who gave us a voicemail?
I'm putting a curse on Porzingis. He will get injured. He will frequently miss games. He will not make the All-Star team more than once. He will retire due to injuries. He will not bring a title to New York. There's no point begging me to reverse the curse because there is no reversing the curse. This is final. Enjoy your misery, New Yorkers. I'm calling it right now.
Told you I wasn't sure if I wanted to play that, but it's
That
your
was
fault
Steven?
now. Yes, that was. So now if Porzingis is actually cursed, it's your fault for making me play that.
Not Steven's fault for actually doing it.
It wouldn't have counted if it just got lost in the void of my voicemails.
Okay, well, that's good. So is he cursed because Steven did that, or because he got drafted by the Knicks?
That is like a chicken or the egg scenario there.
We'll never know, I guess. I have to say though, I was reading something on was it realgm.com? Had a thing, I had a write up on Porzingis, and like, just got me so excited because like you'll focus in on like the things that could go wrong with this roster, but like reading more about like the upside with Porzingis, you're just like, wow, this guy's gonna be so goddamn good. Like the leaps and bounds, he was better than people expected in his first season. No one expected. The one thing people didn't expect from him was like any real presence on defense, and he
Right.
was such a natural shot blocker that guys have to change their shot going to the basket because they know like Porzingis means business and he'll block your shot. He's very good at not fouling.
Yeah, everyone was saying he was going to get stomped down low and like he's got to put on like 50 pounds of muscle and like.
I mean, and he does. It'd be great if he does, but like even without doing that, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So, and you got to think his shot selection will improve this year. His shot from downtown will improve.
Mm-hmm.
like he's going to be quite a force, like on offense and defense. That this roster.
I'm very excited for the season to start. It's like
They're-
the second the season ended, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for next season.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I need a little bit of a break, but now I'm ready to like. I got to see what this team can do. I really want to see what this team can do, and I really want to see what Porzingis could do. I mean, he's the reason to get excited about this team more than anyone else on the roster. Goat writes, final question, will Melo fans have any excuse if this team doesn't win at least one round of the playoffs next season?
I would love to see what they would come up with as an excuse, because I feel like there's no excuse now.
Well, it's an embarrassment if you don't win, you don't get past the first round.
Yeah.
When you say it's an embarrassment, you don't get, like, I'm saying the bar 50 games and get past the first round as a minimum for success.
Oh, if they don't get past the first round, it's like, I mean, to do all this and not get past the first round, this would be ridiculous.
Well, and also, who takes the blame? They don't get past. They don't win 50 games. They don't get past the first round. Is it Melo's fault or is it Phil's fault?
Depends how it plays out.
Fair enough. Phil is. He should get more of the blame. Obviously, it depends on how it plays out.
I mean, if everyone is injured, it's Phil's fault. And, if everyone's playing healthy and they still don't get out of the first round, then Melo's got to take a lot of heat.
I love on Twitter that, like, Alexander Tracy liked your tweet from seven months ago, and our picture of Alexander Tracy is just her tits. It's just the most bizarre world, Twitter. Anyway, I'm going up our feed. Next question. This is from Adam writes, when will the Knicks be free from Dolan's grasps? He needs to go.
What's the average life expectancy of an overweight alcoholic?
Okay, so since Phil has taken over, why are you so mad at Dolan? Are you mad at Dolan? Because do you feel like Dolan has interfered with what Phil's been doing?
No, not at all. I'm mad at Dolan for the previous 15 years.
Oh, yeah, and that's totally fine.
I
But
mean, my Dolan hate will never go away for what he did, but I don't think he's really instigated since Phil took over, which is great.
and
That's probably the best thing Phil's done.
Whatever it was turned out with Phil, we were both on board with, and I think most Knicks fans were very on board with him turning the reins over to Phil at the time. We thought that was, hands down, at the time, we thought it was the best move Dolan had made.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just being mad at Dolan right now seems kind of.
But I mean, the fact that your best move is not being involved says a lot about.
But how many owners are really involved? I mean, outside of Mark Cuban, do you see a lot of owners that involved?
I think
And isn't the best thing an owner can do is go, here's the money, and I'll get out of your way?
but that's the problem. He didn't do that for 15 years.
No. I totally agree with that. I'm just saying the last 3 years he's done that though.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's just saying Dolan has to go.
I think so.
I agree he has to go. But
Unless next year's Phil files is like, well, I really wanted to rebuild, but Dolan insisted I win now, so I got Rose and Noah.
I can't believe Dolan made me get Derrick Rose and sign Noah. God damn you, Dolan, and your naked pictures of Jerry Buss's daughter. or is that her name, Jerry Buss, or
Jeannie,
whatever.
Well,
Jerry Buss's daughter. I got that right.
Oh yeah, you got it right.
I guess I'm just saying, like, of all the things you're gonna be annoyed about or about Knicks, like this is a more of a long-term issue, not a short-term issue.
Yeah.
Chris writes, to me, it gives perspective when you see him playing with blah blah blah. That was okay. Strive writes, should the Knicks sign Lance Stevenson? Do you play NBA 2K?
I have not played this year's NBA 2K because I bought last year's on 360, and apparently they only updated the Xbox One version. So basically, they just sold me NBA 2K14 in a 2015 label, and I was quite pissed. So I didn't buy the next year's.
When was this? When did they start calling it NBA 2K?
In the year 2000.
Okay, so that's what I thought. I've been confused why they keep calling it NBA. I thought they would change the name at some point.
Well, now it's a brand because it was 2K versus NBA Live.
Oh, okay.
And then Live decided to just make shitty games. So they now there's like no competition.
So each year it's NBA 2K like 5, 6, 7, like for the year?
Yeah, now it's 2K16.
And they release one every year?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can guess from my questions that I probably don't play this game. I would play it, but I don't know. What am I going to... I also think about with video games, I'm like, I'm going to start playing them and get really into them. And my wife is like, oh, yeah, don't help with the kids. Play your video games.
Well, they go to bed at some point.
They go to bed doing the show, obviously. She's not like, well, why are you not helping with the kids? Why are you doing your podcast? They're asleep. So I guess, like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 days a week we're not doing the show. You could be playing games.
Yeah, no, I could. It just seems like a habit. If I'm not into it, like it seems like a really wasteful habit to try to get into. I'm going to try to, honey. I'm going to try to get into more video games. I'm going to start smoking. I'm going to eat an Italian sausage each night before going to bed. Bruno writes, "What's a realistic stat line for D Rose for us that we'd want to re-sign him?" Not negative 14 per possession.
16 and 6.
Well, are you gonna like? Is it gonna be more about those basic, those stats, or the advanced stats?
Does anybody ever look at the advanced stats? Even
we just looked at them. He was a negative 14 last year.
Even like NBA owners. I mean, they clearly don't because we wouldn't have signed Rose if Phil saw a negative 14.
But the people are looking at them because like Conley got $26 million a year or $30 million a year, and people aren't making that big of a deal about it. I mean, people are saying it's outrageous, but they're saying he's a very good player. Then you look at the advanced stats of you look at like on they're both their regular stats, the 9 advanced stats look pretty similar. Conley and Derrick Rose, and one had a disaster of a season, and one had a great season. But
it's not like Conley's stuff is hidden behind advanced stats. You could clearly see he plays really good defense.
No, I totally agree with that. It's just I guess I'm just saying, are you going to count like when you talk about re-signing him? If he has the exact same year he had this year, are you going to re-sign? And if he goes 16, you said 16-6, right? So one more assist a game, but he's a negative 14 per 100 possessions. Are you going to re-sign him?
I'm not. Phil Jackson is.
But so you think Phil is going to say, well, I don't care what the advanced stats said. I'm going to re-sign him.
Yes.
Even though he was a huge negative on the court.
Yes.
I have to say he's got to be close to like even. He's got to be break even on that advanced stat for the Knicks to really consider re-signing him.
I am pretty sure Phil doesn't even know what an advanced stat is.
You don't think he cares at all about advanced stats?
I don't think he knows what they are.
Phil's not. Do you think so? Phil calls it per also?
Yeah,
I
think he calls it per, and I think he has no idea what warp is.
I still don't know what warp is. I don't know how you. The problem with warp, that's the wins above replacement kind of thing.
Yeah.
No one knows how to calculate it. So how can it be a real stat?
What? Yeah, like you gave a good
You need
analogy.
to bring out your goddamn calculus books from like high school to calculate this thing.
Well, like you gave a good analogy. Like if you're like playing street ball and somebody says my warp is 15, you're gonna be like, you can't play with us. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like
if you said like the per 100 stat, let's just say you were trying to use that with your friends, and your friends were like you're playing out street ball, but you guys are using substitutions. You're like, hey, when I went off the court, we went down by 10, and now I came back on the court and we tied the game. You could say I'm a plus on the court, and that would make sense to people.
Yeah.
The per thing, whatever. That also doesn't make that much, but like the warp thing, like what the? There's no single. I guarantee 99% of all NBA fans have no clue how to calculate that.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, I would say probably half of them don't even know what it means. Like,
yeah,
like if I just said his warp is 7, you wouldn't know what that meant.
I would have no idea. It's also like they do that in baseball now more than any other sport. They're like talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, Mike Trout was a 6.2 the warp this year, and versus whatever." And you're like, could you just put his stats in some kind of context? You can't just say he's a 6 warp, and that's why you should be MVP. You got to point out some other stats before I have a clue what your hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I would say so. 16-6 though, I think you're right though. That realistically, outside of the advanced stats, that would be a baseline for getting him re-signed.
Yep.
What if you shoot also shooting percentage though? That's going to matter also. He can't shoot 39% and get re-signed.
Why? He just got signed shooting 39%.
He shot 42% last year.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
I don't know. What did
He's
Mel
like
shoot?
a career
43?
40% shooter.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm pretty convinced that he's going to get re-signed.
I think a lot's going to do on how this team is also. Like, if Derrick Rose is healthy and the team plays, like, probably if they win 45 games, they probably get re-signed. But if they're fighting, if they win 38 games, he's not getting re-signed.
I think he's going to be back next year.
I feel like we're by signing Derrick Rose for 1 year, you're just facing a really tough question next year. Because do we take nothing? We traded assets for him, but the assets worthless to us. Because he walks, you got nothing for this.
Yeah, that's why I think we're re-signing him. He would look foolish if he gave up all those assets and then we're like, oh, well, now we don't have Derrick Rose or all those assets.
I bet also, here's a factor in whether we resign Derrick Rose that should not be a factor. But I bet the better that Jerry Grant plays, the more likely we resign Derrick Rose. Because the better he plays, the more Phil is like, well, we got something for him, so it doesn't really matter. Right. And the more I can't not get something for a guy who's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick writes, excellent starting five this year, but who is the best of the bench? Lance, Jennings, Euro Biggs, Cake, O'Quinn, or someone else? Who's the best player on the bench?
Right now, it's Jennings.
Yeah, I think hands down. I don't see how anyone else is better on the bench.
You can't count Stevenson. He's not even on the team yet.
No, Thomas. I thought Lance Stevenson also was Lance.
Yeah. I just hear Lance, and I'm thinking, no, it's still Jennings.
Yeah, hands down. Goat writes, he added more questions. Don't you think us having Derrick Rose is a lose-lose situation? If he's good, we have to re-sign him because of the season. Yes, we just talked about that. Goat also writes, he would have would have had plus no all-star level point guard will come to us. Paul Curry will stay at their teams. And he says, if he sucks injured, we gave up Lopez and Grant for him, and we are back to square one. Yeah, I mean
we pretty much said that word for word last episode.
Gucci Gene writes, what are your thoughts on Melo walking to the convenience store in a robe? LOL. I don't know the story, but that's funny.
Why not?
He also writes thoughts on Jim Boeheim saying Melo. You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so Jim Boeheim, unless you've heard his name before, there's no way you see his name and pronounce it Boeheim.
Right.
There's no A. Why is the English language so goddamn stupid? I am like getting to the point where I have to teach my son how to read, and nothing's phonetic.
Yeah.
Shouldn't everything be like, oh, well, that's how the old Irish and the Celtics days had pronounced that, so that's why we pronounce it that way. Like, you're like, no. However you want to pronounce it, just go to the phonetic spelling. That's the smart way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no A in Boeheim's name.
No, everything should be phonetic.
How can his name be Boeheim if there's no goddamn A in his name? Okay. Thoughts on Jim Boeheim saying Melo is unlikely to win a title?
Well, it's true.
Yeah, he's stating the obvious.
Yeah.
Why is everyone obsessed with going to, like, the guy that coached him for 1 year in college for, like, all quotes about him?
It's so weird.
Gucci Sheen also writes, who is Lance Stevenson more likely to go to, Knicks or Nets? He's from Brooklyn, and do you like D-Rose's confidence?
I would say Knicks. I think Lance seems to like the big stage, and why would you want to go to the Nets, really?
He might get more playing time on the Nets.
He might, but he might get a lot on the Knicks. I mean, look at the injury-prone players we have. He might be starting by, like, January.
I predict he's on Brooklyn. I predict that Phil will not go for him, and I predict that the Nets will. Goat writes, if Melo wins one more ring, if Melo wins one ring, is his career better than LeBron's?
No. Why would winning one ring make him better than LeBron's 3?
Let me make the case for this.
I love to see how you're going to make it.
Well, let's see. Melo would have won a title with the Knicks. LeBron never did that. Has LeBron ever won a title with the Knicks?
No, he has not.
Melo will have won 3 Olympic golds. Will LeBron have ever beaten Serbia?
No. LeBron has never beaten Serbia.
Melo took a Syracuse team to a national title. Has LeBron even won a game in college?
LeBron has won 0 college games. You're doing good.
Yes.
You're doing good at this.
I believe Melo won a scoring title. Did LeBron win the scoring title the same season?
Same season. No, he did not.
Melo produced the Ninja Turtles. LeBron produced a terrible ESPN special about changing teams.
He was in Amy Schumer movie Trainwreck.
I don't think he was that great in that movie.
I didn't see it yet. It's on my DVR.
It's kind of humorous. It's kind of funny movie. I know that people were like, LeBron was amazing in that movie. He was okay in that movie, but he wasn't quite as good. He did not live up to expectations.
I was gonna watch it, but I'm being pressured to plow through Mr. Robot right now.
Just watch Mr. Robot. Please just catch up on that show because it's so frustrating. I need to talk to you about it. Let's see what else I can say about Melo. Okay. And also, Carmelo Anthony was LeBron James ever forced to play with 97 players in the span of 5 years?
No.
Okay, there you go. I rest my case. Melo, if he wins a ring, he's had a far superior career to LeBron James. Liam writes, I really think KP is going to explode this year. Less pressure on him with new additions. Is 2010 possible?
It is.
I don't think so.
It's
Only
possible.
because the roster.
Likely.
I don't think he's going to get. You think like this roster, he's going to get 20 and 10?
No, I don't think it's likely, but it's possible.
I feel like he's a guy that can do that eventually.
Yeah.
What's more likely this year, 20 or 10?
I mean, I guess 10 is more likely, but I think he's probably going to get like 14.
Yeah, I think 16-8 would be really what my expectations with him.
Yeah.
He's going to have a bunch of 2010 games, though.
Yeah.
Okay, Facebook. Only 3 Facebook questions. Q writes, over under for the Knicks draft pick this year.
I mean, we're both thinking they'll make the playoffs, so that already puts them like.
I was.
15.
You're saying what position they're going to have. I thought you were going to say like over under. Will they keep them till February?
Oh. Yeah, I was thinking they'll probably get like a 18th pick.
Sure. I can't think about exactly what place. Well, I'm thinking playoff seeds. The Knicks have to be a 6th seed at the least. So that's probably around 18.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. 5 or 6, I think. If they're fighting for the 8th seed, I'm gonna like. I almost want to be done with the team if they're fighting for the 8th seed. Aaron writes, I've had it with ESPN not giving us any credit. I think we'll reach 50 wins this season. Do you guys want to glitter bomb ESPN? Come on, guys. Who's with me? What does glitter bomb mean?
That's like when you open up a box and like 10 pounds of glitter shoots out.
Oh, okay. Second question. Why are we mad at ESPN does not give us credit. Why are we mad at ESPN for not giving us credit when what credit do we deserve? We were pretty mediocre last year. The year before, we had the worst team in Knicks history. Why should ESPN give us any credit?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like we have to earn the credit at this point.
Yeah, let's earn
like,
this shit.
We were getting all mad when they said 17 wins and then we got 17 wins. So
I think they said 27. We like underperformed.
Yeah.
We'll earn our screw ESPN. We'll earn our credit. Andrew writes, can Phil stop trolling us by telling everyone about the trades he could have made like this week, how we could have had Jay Crowder instead of Cleanthony early?
I was pretty upset when I saw that, actually.
They also said that the Knicks could have traded Felton for Steph Curry, but Phil didn't think Steph Curry's hands were big enough. I mean, why even mention the Jay Crowder thing? Like, why would Phil even admit this?
Why does he do anything he does?
Like, is he trolling the fans? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Is there anything weirder in sports than this stupid chronicle thing he does?
I mean, it's interesting. I kind of like the read.
I know, but why not just like tell people what you're thinking at the time, or why are you releasing them like throughout the summer? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's interesting to hear the his thoughts throughout the whatever.
Yeah.
That's it for questions. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you feel like we need to cover?
No, we did it again. We hit an hour with no material.
Like nothing to talk about. We kind of went into the same things over and over again. Is there can you guess the let's see. 2012 first team NBA. See if you can guess it.
2012?
Yeah, I'm just picking a random year. I'm assessing your NBA knowledge.
LeBron.
Yes.
Durant.
Durant, yes.
Now it gets a little trickier. That one.
What's that? Who are you say?
I'm gonna say.
See, I don't think it's that tricky. I'm looking at this team. Like, it's pretty you shouldn't take that many extra guesses to get it.
Wade.
No, that'd be a good guess, but no.
Duncan.
That'd be a good guess, but no.
Westbrook.
Again, would be a good guess. Like, come on.
Paul George.
No. Who's arguably at this point the
Tyson
best point guard in the
Chandler.
league? No, come on, jeez. 2012. Who's arguably the best point guard in the league around then?
Chris Paul.
Yes. That's a pretty obvious. And who's arguably the best center in the league at this point?
Dwight Howard.
So, yes. And who's arguably the most overrated guard in the league? Who about to have his career come out from under him? Actually, they might have won the title that year.
No, 2012 was wasn't that Miami?
No, yeah, you're right. It was Miami. It has to be Miami because LeBron's listed as being on Miami.
Overrated guard. I don't know. Harden.
Kobe. Yeah. But like I'm just looking at the teams and like a lot of players keep making it every year. Like it's the teams don't change that much year after year.
Yeah.
But interesting looking back. When's the last time a guy actually on the Knicks played? What year was the last time a guy on the Knicks actually made this? Has a Knick ever made this team?
Yeah, no, it has to be. I mean, Ewing had to have made it a few times.
I mean, when I tell you this, you're gonna be like, "Not you got the guy." But when's the last time he made it?
97.
90.
Ewing 90.
Ewing 90.
What?
Well, I mean, look at the centers he played against every year. Because it's not like Eastern Conference. It's like he had to play against Duncan and he had to play against Olajuwon for the honors of center. Like every year, it's one of those guys.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking like East and West, but yeah, I'm sure Olajuwon made it a bunch of times.
And then you have Shaq, Alonzo. Like it was like the centers were really good.
Yeah, and then the tier below that, you had like Rick Smits and well, maybe not a ton after that. But
Prior to that, we have Bernard King making it twice, 85 and 84.
So 1990 was our last first team.
Yes.
Wow.
Walt Frazier made it twice, 3 times. Willis Reed. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say we probably have. Yeah, I wonder what Melo's honors are. Where is going to be on a Basketball Reference?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got to made second team a couple times. You think?
Yeah.
How many times?
Twice.
Yeah, twice is what I was thinking also. Okay, appearances and awards. He the
suspense is killing me.
I'm trying to find the because they have all these like what place he's in all these stupid like categories.
I started the contest while I was waiting for you.
Oh, that's fine.
It's blowing up.
He was Rookie of the Month 6 times, Player of the Month 6 times, Player of the Week 18 times.
Great.
Okay. Here's the All NBA. He's All NBA second team twice.
There you go. We got it.
12 and 13 and 9-10, and he was third. 4 times third. And he made All Rookie team. I mean, he's got some pretty good. It's still pretty darn good.
All right.
Okay. That's the show. What did we learn today?
We learned that we have our new contest.
Yes. I am excited to see all the tweets that mention us. That you think anyone won it already? Well, they can't win it yet, but let's see. Has anyone put? Let's see if we got any yet.
We have 2 favorites, which does not get you the prize. we have 2 likes on Twitter. Yes, that is good. Thank you, but yeah, retweets gets you the prize.
Also, one of the likes is from Podcast Fanboy, and his description says, "I like and retweet all things podcasting." And the other one is a naked picture of boobs.
Is it?
No, it's not true. But it's just funny because I'm checking. I check our Twitter page, and you scroll through it. Oh, I wonder if what kind of anyone interacting with us, and you're like, oh, porn, porn. It's randomly. It's. I just find it interesting because it's not like I'm looking for porn when I'm on the subway looking at my phone. It's just I'm randomly looking and there's porn.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, we're done.
Yes. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we will announce the winner of our contest, and we will talk about our fantasy basketball league. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, 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 everybody.
Together, we can make your blonde blonde. Sheer Blonde Go Blonder collection by John Frieda lightens and brightens hair 2 full shades to give you your best blonde every day.
Hair talks. Make your statement with Sheer Blonde Go Blonder collection, only from John Frieda.